Hey guys, so this is the iPad Air 4th generation. So let's talk about it. Okay, but first we gotta unbox it, so let's jump back in time real fast. Hey guys, so two things came today. So we have the iPad Smart Folio and the 4th generation iPad Air. So we're gonna put this off to the side for now while we open up the iPad Smart Folio case. So you're just gonna pull the top of this, and then you have the iPad case. Now I do have to say this is a pretty nice shade of blue, as it is more on the navy side, and Apple always has different blues every year, I feel like. So this is a one-piece case design with the magnetic folding flaps, as if you had an Apple iPad case you know about. So I'm gonna put that off to the side. So this is magnetic and will allow the sleep-wake functionality of the iPad to occur. You have your Apple logo, you have your camera cutout, of course, and that's really it for the Smart Folio case. So we're gonna put this off to the side up here. And now for the... So we're gonna put this off to the side up here for right now. And then now for the main attraction. So now, I did go for the sky blue iPad Air. And personally, blue is my color, so that's why I chose the sky blue. There was literally no other reason. So let's take it out of the box. So we're gonna lift the lid up, and that was actually pretty smooth. So now, we're gonna put the iPad off to the side for now. And in the inside of the box, we have designed by Apple in California, as usual. Now, in here is probably your documentation and Apple stickers and everything. But now, do we get color-matched Apple stickers? Question of the day. We do not. We get two white Apple stickers, which honestly, that's not a surprise. Like, Apple hasn't really ever color-coded them, except for on a few products. So, you have your 20-watt USB-C power adapter, and then your USB-C to USB-C cable, which I don't need right now, so we're just going to put it back in the box. And then now for the main attraction. So this iPad does have a 10.9-inch liquid retina display with 4 speakers, two on the top and 2 on the bottom, a 10-megapixel camera, the Apple logo, a smart connector, and as well as the connector for the 2nd generation Apple Pencil, as well as a Touch ID sensor built into the power button, which is pretty cool that we have Touch ID back. So now, enough stalling, let's just peel this off, and wow. I do have to say this is a pretty nice shade of blue. Now, it isn't like the navy Apple Watch or the navy iPad Air, or, sorry, the navy iPhone 12, or even the Pacific Blue iPhone 12 Pro and Pro Max, and it does feel solid too, which is a good thing. So now, this is it. This is the 4th generation iPad Air. Okay, so I've been using the iPad now for about 24 hours, and personally, I love this. As someone who hasn't had an iPad in a solid 2-3 years now, this iPad is great. First off, the edge-to-edge screen is great. Touch ID and the power button. Can we get this on our iPhones? Like, now? Like, can Apple come out with an iPhone 12 Pro Ti for Touch ID or something like that? Because I want Touch ID back on my iPhone now after seeing this. Like, it has a 12-megapixel, not a 10-megapixel camera. It does have a smart connector, so you can connect it to the Magic Keyboard and the smart keyboard that Apple has. Although, personally, for me, I don't need a keyboard. Like, the Smart Folio case is just more than enough for what I need. It protects the front and the back, and has a built-in stand if you fold the front around, so that works great for me. The A14 Bionic chip, can we talk about that? So, I currently did not get an iPhone 12 Pro or an iPhone 12, and I'm waiting for the 12 Pro Max to be released, and I'm going to get that one. And honestly, the A14 Bionic chip has blown me away in this. I just can't wait to see it now on an iPhone with 5G. Like, that's gonna be insane. Because, like, I had it running Sidecar, FaceTime, and Twitter all at once. And I was just blown away by the fact that I'm running all these apps, and it just had no issues running all the apps. The battery life is great. I've gotten, like, 5 hours of on-screen time. And was at, like, 30 to 20%, which was honestly, I was like, that's fine, because I would be putting it down to charge now, and which is great. And you also have the connector for the second generation Apple Pencil. So if you are looking at getting the second generation Apple Pencil for your iPad, you can do that with the Pro. With the Air, you don't have to pay up to the Pro to get the second generation Apple Pencil like you did in the past. So now, the Air versus the Pro, which one should you get? Personally, this is an iPad Pro killer, essentially, in my opinion, because the iPad Pro does have a LiDAR scanner and an ultra-wide camera, while this only has a wide. And personally, I don't know how many of you are taking pictures with your iPad. Like, I don't think really any of us are taking pictures with our iPad. So the wide camera will be fine for the 1 or 2 pictures I will ever take with this iPad in the 4 years I'm probably gonna keep it. So you don't need a good camera on it for that. Although, if you are going to spend up for the A12Z or maybe just the bigger screen, because this is 10.9 inches, while the iPad Pro is 11 inches, the smaller one, or the 12.9 inches. So now if you do need the bigger screen size of the 12.9 inches, you do have to pay up, unfortunately, to the Pro. But now if you're going for the 11 inches, personally, this is the same form factor as the 11 Pro, as the iPad Pro, not the 11 Pro. And this is fine. Like, personally, I love the fact that it has Touch ID instead of Face ID. Like, that's just great in my opinion. Like, that's all you have to do. Just put your finger on the button and you're in. And that's just really great in my opinion to have on the iPad, because, like, now when we're all wearing masks, like, if you do take this to school or just out and about with you, you can just rest your finger on the power button and boom, you're in. Which is pretty cool that they can do that. And just iPadOS, Apple knows how to make great software, so iPadOS really takes the whole experience to another level. So last time I had an iPad, it was running the same iOS as my iPhone, so I believe that was iOS 12 or 11. So now, I didn't get to experience any of the stuff on here, so, like, I have my widgets set up on my home screen, I have the new smaller app icons, and personally, I love it. It's great. It has Bluetooth 5 and Wi-Fi 6, which I can't wait to test out on this. And the iPad Pro has an A12Z processor, while this has an A14 Bionic processor. So now, I personally don't really understand the whole difference between that, but all I understood from Apple was this is the A14, which is newer, but they apparently made some improvements to the A12Z to make it faster and better than the A14, because that's what's going to be used in their Mac Silicon lineup, or possibly the A14 now. We really have no idea. So overall, I'm blown away by this screen size and just how, like, the iPad's on the smaller end now, I feel like, compared to the older ones, because it doesn't have the chin and the chip doesn't have a chin on the top and bottom. With the Touch ID button, the Touch ID is built right into the top button, which is personally great. I love it. Like, the sky blue color is pretty cool too, because, like, I just had to go with the color blue. And it is a different shade of blue, though, on every Apple product now, which I kind of find funny. So that's just my, like, first 24 hours impressions of this. I'll have to get back to you guys, like, after I've used this for, like, a month and so, and, like, used it for schooling and everything, because that's, like, the main reason for this is streaming and for school. So personally, it's great for me right now. The size, the camera, the Touch ID and the power button, that's all great. So I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.